Hi, folks. Chuck here again with five more horror movies that I think more people should know about because I don't see them discussed very much, even though some of them are apparently quite famous. These are all specifically ghost movies. Couple of telly movies in there, but I think that still counts. So let's dive in and have a look. This is Ghostwatch, the infamous Ghostwatch, scripted by Stephen Volk, who is a great writer of ghost stories and has done a lot in the way of scripting, a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, so on and so forth. Ghostwatch probably was my generation's Orson Welles' War of the Worlds broadcast. Basically, it was presented as if it was a real program. Michael Parkinson, the famous interviewer, was in there. There were a lot of people involved with a lot of celebrities, a lot of news kind of people playing themselves in this, which again lent to the effect that this was a real thing that was being shown. And the gist is that on Halloween night, one year, the BBC decided to do a live investigation of a purportedly haunted house. And they go in, and it all seems to be, not much going on. And there's celebrities making, cheesy jokes and what have you, like you would in any light entertainment show from, America or Australia or Britain. And then it seems like something's happening, and then it seems like maybe it's all a big con, and everyone goes like that, and then shit hits the fan, and it suddenly rockets towards being a genuinely apocalyptic supernatural event. It is terrifying. I still find it terrifying. And look, part of that might be because I'm old enough to remember who a lot of these people were, and the people I didn't know I'd at least seen in other things or snippets of British news, or I knew some of the celebrities involved, or what have you. Michael Parkinson, again, very, very famous personality, a celebrity interviewer. And I still get an absolute chill watching this today, as much so as I did when I first saw it. I don't know why I would have seen it, because I don't know if it made it to Australian TV, but I saw it somehow. And this is in the days before internet, so who knows? But yeah, absolutely brilliant. And given that there was such an uproar, I genuinely don't know why more people don't know about this and why more people haven't watched it. But this should be I think this should be mandatory viewing for anyone interested in horror. There, I said it. Mandatory viewing. Lake Mungo. Not quite a found footage. This is actually more along the lines of Ghostwatch, the same way that Ghostwatch resembled like your average kind of light entertainment special that might appear on BBC TV at any time. This is a supposed documentary. It's a faux documentary. I don't like mockumentary for this, because mockumentary sounds like it's going to be funny, and it's not. It's a faux documentary about a family whose the eldest daughter drowns at Lake Mungo, and shortly thereafter, people start to report that they have seen her ghost in the house where the family still lives. Again, it's stitched together with footage. It's stitched together with interviews with the family, who are of course actors, but that's not made clear at any point. So I know a lot of people. I used to sell this movie out of my science fiction and fantasy horror bookshop, and people would come in saying, "Oh, have you got that documentary?" They really thought it was real, but it's an amazing piece because it also very closely resembles the format of a very famous Australian documentary series that's still going today, and that has been going now for about 35 years, called Australian Story. It had the same kind of edits to it. It had the same kind of narration over the top, the same kind of visuals that were often used in Australian Story. So for people of a certain generation, mine and probably a little bit older, a little bit younger, it really hit a nerve in seeming so real that you kind of second guess yourself. And basically, yeah, it's creepy as hell. There is only one jump scare in it, and no matter how many times I watch it and how often I know the jump scare is coming up, it still makes me absolutely jump out of my skin. It's terrifying. It's unsettling, and without too many spoilers, you need to watch all the way through the credits, because there is a fairly significant twist that becomes clear during the end credit sequence. And I'll say no more than that. But this is an absolutely brilliant film. It's one of my favourite horror films, let alone Australian horror films. But I think it's absolutely magnificent. Top 10 all-time horror movies. It's definitely on that list. The Stone Tape by Nigel Neal, who also wrote all of the Quatermass serials, about which I will do another video at some point because I do love my Quatermass stuff. This is another telemovie, much like Ghostwatch was, in which a bunch of corporate types who are trying to work on the next big recording medium after cassette tapes, move into an ancient sort of manor, deciding to sort of, get away from it all in order to kind of really have a think tank about what's going to be. And they discover the place is haunted. And then they just realize that it's not so much a ghost, but it's they're seeing the death of a servant girl who fell from a set of stairs in one of the abandoned rooms there. And it seems to have been recorded by the stone, hence the stone tape. They start going, oh, I wonder if we could use, stone as an actual recording medium. And so they start mucking around with it. And of course, as always happens when scientific types or corporate types start mucking with stuff, bad things happen. Because having convinced themselves that, yes, this ghosts are just recordings in the stone, they look into, the background of the serving girl and what would have terrified her so much that she would have fallen from those steps. And yeah, there's something else there that is not part of the stone recording that is the reason why this girl fell to her death. It's incredibly tense. It's very atmospheric, very little music, some great performances. And again, this is something that I feel so many more people should see. For a very long time, it wasn't available anywhere, and I believe that was to do with rights issues. Some of the actors weren't happy about performances or things like that. But I think it's a cracking thing, and now it's available on Blu-ray and DVD and all those sorts of things. The Stone Tape, please do look it up. Nigel Neal had a real knack for tying sort of folk horror together with a bit of science fiction, and sort of giving superstitious notions a rationale in science that didn't erase the harm that those superstitions could do. That's what he did right through Quatermass. That's what he's done in here. Please go track it down if you haven't seen it and watch it. Ghost Stories. This is an anthology film, which has a stage production. I'm not sure if one is based on the other. I think the stage production might have come first, in fact. But it's basically about a paranormal investigator who is traveling here and there, talking to people about really terrifying paranormal experiences they have had. The performances, really sell the terror of this. They're often not very nice people. They're not very kind of notable people, but they have stories to tell. And in this case, the stories start to escalate towards something, not just in general, but for the investigator himself. And there's a twist right at the end that when you see, you kind of go, oh, that's where it was heading. It's brutal. No happy endings, and it is terrifying throughout. There's a couple of jump scares. Mostly it's just rising tension that will leave you feeling so unsettled and so tense. So maybe enjoyment is the wrong term, but I love this film. And finally, The Awakening, also written by Stephen Volk, who wrote the script for Ghostwatch. And it's a governess who comes out to take charge at a very old boarding school of the one pupil who is not going home to their family over the break. And yeah, starts to realize that there's something not right going on at this school, and possibly something not right about the child that she's looking after either. Truly frightening. Yeah, very, very atmospheric, very, very creepy. Not one to watch by yourself at night, frankly. So there we go, 5 fantastic ghost movies that I think more people should know about, because very few people actually seem to know about them, or certainly if they do, they're not talking about them. So are any of these ones that you love? Have you seen any of them? Have you not seen any of them? Let me know if you're planning to go out and have a look at them. And if you have recently seen them, or if you go out and see them based on this, please pop back, drop a comment, let me know what you thought.